Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày trẻ em thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp để nâng cao nhận thức về các vấn đề quan trọng ảnh hưởng đến cuộc sống của trẻ em và thúc đẩy sự tham gia của thanh thiếu niên vào việc thực hiện các quyền của chính mình. Đại dịch Covid-19 đã thể hiện rõ sự bất bình đẳng, ảnh hưởng đến quyền của mọi trẻ em như thế nào. Trẻ em và thanh thiếu niên đang lên tiếng về những vấn đề quan trọng đối với thế hệ trẻ như các vấn đề về khí hậu, sức khỏe tâm thần, giáo dục, chấm dứt các hành vi phân biệt chủng tộc và phân biệt đối xử. Thanh thiếu niên đang kêu gọi người lớn cùng chung tay để tạo dựng một tương lai tốt đẹp hơn khi chúng ta đang dần phục hồi lại sau đại dịch. Trên toàn thế giới, trẻ em cùng tham gia và cùng phủ xanh thế giới để thể hiện sự ủng hộ với quyền trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới, một ngày của trẻ em, cho trẻ em. Ngày Trẻ Em Thế giới được tổ chức hàng năm vào ngày 20 tháng 11 là ngày thông qua Công ước Quốc tế về quyền trẻ em. Đây là dịp
Welcome everyone to our event. Representatives of press agencies, children, adolescents, and all the distinguished guests to the celebration ceremony of the World Children's Day. This ceremony is organized by UNICEF in collaboration with Melissa and livestreamed from the UN Greenhouse on the fan page of UNICEF in Vietnam, the YouTube of UNICEF for English-speaking people. That is also a good opportunity for me to be the host of this event together with this lovely girl. Hello everyone, I'm Tường Nhi. Today, Minh Hằng and Tường Nhi will be the hosts of this event. Once again, welcome you all to this event, and I wish you a successful event. Ladies and gentlemen, 20th November is the World Children's Day, marking the approval of the UN Convention on the Right of the Child, and this is also an opportunity for us to promote the exercise of child rights. The topic of the World Children's Day This year in Vietnam is mental health care for children and adolescents, in particular in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic and its negative consequences, which affect the mental health of everyone. Today in this event, we would like to welcome the distinguished guests as follows: Madam Rana Flowers, Country Representative of UNICEF in Vietnam; Madam Nguyễn Thị Hà, Deputy Minister of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs; Mr. Nguyễn Lâm Thanh, Director of TikTok Vietnam; Madam Vũ Thị Kim Hoa, Deputy Director, Department of Child Affairs, Molisa; Madam Nguyễn Thị Thanh Minh, Deputy Director of the International Cooperation Department, Molisa; Madam Leslie Miller, Deputy Representative of UNICEF Vietnam; Professor Trần Thành Nam, a psychologist. We are also very happy to welcome artists, KOLs, and communication messengers, writer Trang Hạ, host MC Thảo Vân, who attend this event virtually, singer, actor Duy Khoa. We are also very happy to welcome children. Tại Việt Vượng, 12 years old, a hearing impaired child in Hanoi. So please give a big applause to Vượng. We are also very happy to welcome with Linh, 13 years old, from Hanoi. Nguyễn Quang Minh, 16 years old, from Hanoi. We also have some participants from Đà Nẵng. Trần Quỳnh Giang, 17 years old, from Đà Nẵng. This event is participated by a lot of journalists and audience who watch our event through the live stream. First, we would like to invite the UNICEF representative, Madame Rana Flowers, to have opening remarks. Over to you, Madame Flowers.
A warm good morning to everyone in the room and to everyone who has joined us online. Melissa Vice Minister, Nguyen Thi Ha, representatives of ministries here in Vietnam, distinguished guests, children and young people. Welcome to World Children's Day. This is the most wonderful day for UNICEF. It's the most wonderful day, I hope, for the children of the world. It's the moment when governments reaffirm their commitment to children's rights. And it is a day for children, by children. I don't think any of us last year predicted that World Children's Day 2021 would continue to be held in the heart of a pandemic that has ravaged and has undermined development all over the world. In the last 2 years, the impact of that pandemic can be measured across every right in the Convention on the Rights of the Child. We experience regression, we see children being left behind. The pandemic has shone a light on areas where we've paid insufficient attention in the past. It has shone a light on the increasing violence in all countries, on the lack of digital access, or on increasing child labour. But it has also highlighted just how much the turmoil in the outside world has affected the turmoil in our own heads. Isolated from friends, deprived of routines, confronted with fear, unable to make a contribution in their lives. Grief uncertainty about their education. The pandemic has highlighted the importance for children and young people of their mental health and well-being. Now, we use the term mental health as if it were a bad thing, and it is not. In the same way we have physical health, we have mental health. In the same way we feed and fuel and protect our physical health, we need to do the same for our mental health. Physical plus mental health equals good health. And we have done too much to stigmatise mental health, and we have made it a silent epidemic where our children and our young people are not speaking up. They're not reaching out to us. They're not speaking their truth, even to their friends. And that is what we want to address. That is our call to action today, which is it's okay not to be okay. Mental health is on a continuum. At this end, I'm feeling good, I feel positive, I'm in the moment, and I'm enjoying life. A bit further down that continuum, I've got some worries. I'm concerned. I'm maybe not sleeping quite as much. But I'm okay. I've got strategies and resilience. Another step down, then I have more deep concerns, and I need to speak to someone. I need to reach out. I need to share my truth. And at the end of that continuum, I need help. I need to reach to someone who is trained, who is a professional, who can support me to build back my resilience, to get back in that moment. So mental health is a positive state. And it's a very important state that we nourish. And there are steps that we can all take to nourish that mental health. For our young people, being able to connect to others, our young people, self-esteem and thinking about that, thinking about how much pressure for academic achievement we're putting on young people and dialing that back, dialing up how much we actually, ourselves as parents, put the phones down and talk to our children. I cannot tell you how many times I go for dinner in a restaurant and I watch the family next to me and everybody is on their phone for the whole meal. You may as well have stayed at home. The importance of connecting in person and being able to share your truth is an essential step to positive mental health. And of course, when we see that our friend, our colleague is struggling, it's also important to intervene with support, to offer that space where they feel safe to share their truth. We do absolutely need to have some clinical services with those trained professionals, but it is much less money, much less time, and much less negativity if we can focus the resources on supports that promote mental health and good well-being, on all of those elements that nourish the soul of our children. So today, on World Children's Day, children are asking us to listen, not tell them what to do, but listen, to pay attention to what matters to them. Today, the children and adolescents across Vietnam, across the world, they are connecting in person, talking in person with their friends, and really sharing what is troubling them. They are looking up and getting into the moment. And it's absolutely the case that when we spend too much time on our phones, too much time focusing down, we've lost that perspective of looking up and discovering all the beauty and the friendships and the wonder that surrounds us. Now, the lockdowns have exposed what was already there. A percentage of our children in every country suffer in silence. And now more than ever because of the pandemic, they are feeling even more isolated, more fearful, and more uncertain. And even when this pandemic has faded away, the social and economic impact and the mental health consequences will continue. And we have a lot of work to do together to address those child rights challenges. It's a crucial moment to stop, reach out with kindness, reach out with real support, make a space for our children. It's a crucial moment with government to really look at the national strategic plan for the mental health of children and adolescents, to identify how in schools we can have counsellors, how social and emotional learning in the curriculum gets much higher priority from teachers. We can identify activities that are undertaken in the schools that support children. We need social workers in the communities who can identify the children at risk and who become a referral point for those children who we become more concerned about. We need to invest in the mental health services that support children, that support all of those children who we knew were vulnerable because of abuse, exploitation, neglect, but all of the children who are now feeling that isolation and fear that the COVID pandemic has left us. Governments have an absolutely crucial role in this. We either invest and prevent and respond as needed, or we deal with the tragedy of children's lives. And there is a trend across the world of an increase in children performing self-harm and committing suicide, particularly over the last period. And none of us want to deal with one single case of that tragedy. We need to integrate mental health services into our social protection systems and our community care systems. And parents, we need to skill parents, give them the tools to be able to recognise when their children are distancing, when their children are facing concerns, to bring them together. We need to hold family dinners where we actually create conversation face to face and connect in a real way with our children. And for the media and for all of us, we need to stop stigmatising mental health challenges. We all suffer mental health challenges throughout our lives. We need to position mental health as this positive, engaging, and an opportunity to further nourish our overall good health. UNICEF stands with every child, stands with every person, and we stand with the government in creating a system and in ensuring that we are offering the best possible support, prevention, and promotion that really genuinely nourishes our children. Thank you.
Vâng, xin cảm ơn những chia sẻ đến từ phía bà Rana Flowers. Thank you, Mrs. Rana Flowers, UNICEF representative in Vietnam. Và với những chia sẻ vừa rồi thì
So, with her remarks, she has shared with us the concerns of herself as well as UNICEF as their wishes for support to raise awareness among the public on the importance of protecting the mental health of children and the exercise of children's rights. Next on the agenda, I would like to invite Madame Nguyễn Thị Hà, Vice Minister of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs, to the stage to deliver her remarks. Madame Rana Flowers, Chief Representative of UNICEF Vietnam, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, our beloved children. Today, on behalf of the leadership of Melissa, I'm very happy to join our celebration ceremony of the World Children's Day 2021 on the 20th of November, where all of us focus on children, we will all act for policy advocacy and awareness raising among the public to address the urgent needs of children. Ladies and gentlemen, 32 years ago, on the 20th November, the General Assembly of the UN adopted the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and Vietnam is the first country in Asia, second in the world, to ratify the Convention on the Rights of the Child. After 30 years or so, Vietnam has achieved a lot in terms of bringing a better life for children. Vietnam has also legislated the principles to fulfill children's rights in our Constitution and the Children's Rights issued in 2016, together with their bylaws. All of these bylaws and laws state very clearly the responsibilities of governmental agencies, civil society organizations, and individuals for protecting the mental health of children and to promoting the engagement of children. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, it's the very first year that we start implementing our social economic development plan for the next 10 years. So it marks the initiation of many social economic initiatives, and that's the reason why the government issued the action plan to implement Agenda 2030. The Prime Minister issued the National Action Program for Children for the upcoming period to ensure the fulfillment of children's rights and to develop children comprehensively so that we can have a good quality human resources for social economic development and global integration. The goal is to also establish a healthy living environment for all of us so that we can achieve the 17 SDGs. The master projects, including the projects on prevention of child injuries, the master project on the prevention of violence, and so on, have been approved by the Prime Minister and rolled out across the country. The World Children's Day this year takes place in a very special context as we are all under the impact of COVID-19. Children and adolescents are some of the most vulnerable groups. They are impacted because they cannot go to school, they suffer from mental health issues, as elaborated by Madam Rana Flowers in her speech. Their education and learning is interrupted. They find it more difficult to access nutrition and healthcare services. And recreational activities and interactions with their peers are limited. And then violence and abuse against children are also on the increase. Particularly the cases of children who are infected with COVID-19, they are isolated from their parents and their friends. Some have become orphaned because of COVID-19, and that experience has, put them at risk, and these incidences have disrupted their routine, which are changed drastically because of the negative impact of COVID-19. To mitigate the impacts of the pandemic on children, ladies and gentlemen, Melissa has worked with sectoral ministries and reported to the National Steering Committee on the Prevention and Control COVID-19 on the importance of strengthening awareness raising and mental health care for teachers, parents, care providers, caregivers, and children in quarantine centers and in home settings. We have worked with MOAT and Ministry of Defense to distribute handbooks on how to provide mental care for these beneficiaries in quarantine settings. As mentioned by Madam Rana Flowers, Melissa has been working very hard on improving the quality of our healthcare system in order to reduce or to prevent traumas among children. However, there remains a lot of problems and gaps which require more efforts from us in the coming time. But as a starting point, we have started taking our actions, and our people have come to understand more about mental health issues. The National Helpline 111 and the Children TV very currently have broadcast programs on mental health. We have worked with provincial people's committees so that the local media designate sections and coverage for children and mental health issues. Apart from the suggestions made by Madam Rana Flowers, we would love to seek more support and interest in concrete actions from social organizations in terms of providing mental health care for children and their caregivers. I would like to address 5 areas of focus that we would like to seek support from line ministries and the entire society. We would love to have your engagement too. First, to skill parents in terms of providing health care for children and other family members so that we can have early detection interventions. And if we can do that well, we can address the problem mentioned by Madam Flowers. So she said that when she went to restaurants, she saw how parents looked at their phones more than looking at their children. Then if we can skill the parents, if we can develop parenting skills for these parents, I'm certain that we can address this situation somehow. There are actually 2 stories that I would like to share. I think there are going to be more stories that we're going to hear throughout this event, but just personally, what I observed is that when I was, traveling here, so VOV traffic mentioned one adolescent, I think maybe 15 or 16 years old, approaching very close to the bridge, the top of the bridge, attempting suicide. And that's the reason why VOV traffic radio said that the traffic participants should avoid that place so that the officers could provide support and motivate him to drop the idea and take him back home. So that is the first story that I would like to share with all of you. And you can see, definitely we're seeing more and more of self-harm and suicidal attempts and practices. Stresses are there among the children. I'm sure this child maybe suffered from the same situation. My child, 10 years old, I would like to share with you the story about my child. I'm at work like 8 hours a day or even more. Sometimes I have to work overtime, 10 hours, 11 hours some day, and sometimes I have to work until 1 in the morning, and Madam Hoa, I think she definitely can sympathize with me, and I really don't have time. And when I do have time at 7 p.m., for example, I have dinner, and then I go online, I check different information sources, and I look at work even more, and then I don't spend time for my children. And you see, during the day and even in the evening, we don't even spend 15 minutes or so talking to your child, checking in with your child, And I think this is what is happening in real life. And Madam Rana Flowers has also addressed that, in her speech, and I'm convinced that skilling the parents is very important to address these practices, and we hope that the media, UNICEF, and other social organizations would help governmental agencies to improve the capacity of parents. Number 2, more mental health care interventions for children. So the approach here is interdisciplinary: health, education, and social protection. Today, I'm very glad to see the presence of representatives from Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education Training. If we, Melissa, on our own, we cannot address everything because online learning and then the connection between online and offline, we need to have the support of Ministry of Education, and then nutrition, and then the medical care. We have to work with the Ministry of Health. That's the reason why I believe multi-sectoral interdisciplinary approach is very essential. And to us, in our own sector, the systems from central to local levels have to work in a coordinated manner so that we can refine and amend and supplement legal frameworks on mental health care for children. In the system of legal frameworks on social protection, we are working on the strategy on social protection for the next 5 years and 10 years, and we particularly pay attention to mental health care for the vulnerable, including children and the elderly. And social work, yes, we need to have a strong workforce of social workers so that they can provide better support for our children. UNICEF has brought this to our attention, on multiple platforms, and definitely in this tenure, we will try our best to develop our workforce of social workers, and potentially we will look into the possibility of issuing a law on social work as a profession so that we can establish a stronger workforce of social workers. Number 5, master projects or projects to address or redress the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic consequences in a coordinated manner or in an interdisciplinary manner. And the goal is that we would have a high quality human resource in the future. Last year, we developed 5 master projects on children. This year, we will continue working with our departments to mainstream these interventions in other programs of other agencies. For example, the program adopted and approved by the National Assembly on poverty reduction, sustainable poverty reduction. So I hope that with the inventions that we have provided and will be providing in the future will help reassure our children and will improve their self-esteem. And the World Children's Day coincides the 75th anniversary of UNICEF. I would like to extend our gratitude to UNICEF in Vietnam, in particular for your constant support for children in Vietnam. Thank you very much for your close cooperation. The interest from international organizations, line ministries, and the public for Vietnam and the children in Vietnam. I want to wish all of you good health and success. And our children, I hope that you will study well, and for those who are suffering from mental health issues, I wish that you are optimistic always and believe that together we can overcome all challenges so that in the future you can exercise your rights in the coming time. And we are convinced that you can do better, your friends can do better, and we can do better. There is no problem with mental health issues. Feel free to raise your voice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thứ trưởng Bộ Lao động Thương binh và Xã
Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs. In her speech, she talked about the importance of improving mental health care for children by working with international organizations to raise awareness on the protection of mental health of children in Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 pandemic is entering its 3rd year, still having a serious impact on the living conditions of our children and the health of children and adolescents. According to UNICEF, in every 7 children, there's 1 that is under the impact of social distancing, and these impacts are recognizable in our daily lives. The fear, the uncertainties, the disruptions in our routines, the worries about the incomes of your families and of your future education opportunities. I'm sure that you are angry, you're frustrated about what is coming in the future. So may I ask Ying, what do you think? In recent months, we are under the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. How about you when you're at home? Are you having any problems with your daily routines or with your schoolwork? So during the pandemic, I think not only myself but other children are suffering from the issues of learning online. We cannot participate in outdoor activities or other recreational activities. A lot of my friends are passionate about dancing, singing, performing, but they're not allowed to participate in these activities anymore at their favorite clubs. They have to sit in front of the screen all day, their eyes are tired. I'm always very bored actually. I'm sorry to hear that, and I think that it's the same for many other children. This is something that we can all share, the difficulties that Nhi has just mentioned. How about others? Let's have a look at the screen and watch a short video clip.
Trẻ em không bị áp lực, lo lắng hay căng thẳng từ gia đình hay xã hội.
Sức khỏe tâm thần là những suy nghĩ, thái độ, hành động với chính bản thân mình còn với những người xung quanh bằng một cách tích cực hay tiêu cực. Ví dụ như một bạn trẻ luôn có tâm trạng là lo lắng, buồn phiền, chán nản, hay là có những phút im lặng, em nghĩ là mình đang có một cái sức khỏe tâm thần không ổn định cho lắm. Mẹ về chuyện học tập, thi cử, bạn bè, trường lớp, mẹ là người lên gần gũi và lắng nghe lời em nói.
Là một thiếu niên, em cũng có những suy nghĩ và những âu lo mà em thường chia sẻ với bạn bè hoặc là những anh chị cùng tuổi với em mà em quen. Em cảm thấy không thể thân thiết như vậy với gia đình hoặc là với thầy cô giáo, bởi vì em cảm thấy sự khác biệt giữa tư tưởng giữa họ và em sẽ gây nên khó khăn.
Em cảm thấy mình rất may mắn khi trong gia đình em, ông bà, ba mẹ đều luôn quan tâm đến em, nhưng theo em được biết thì có khá nhiều bạn không được như vậy. Em có một người bạn thân đã bị ảnh hưởng tâm lý trong một thời gian rất dài vì chuyện gia đình đã khiến bạn tự ti, tủi thân và không ai bên cạnh.
Em đã từng bị các bạn chế giễu rất nhiều vì em là dân tộc thiểu số. Như đợt xảy ra Covid, các bạn ở thành phố có máy tính, điện thoại các bạn để học trực tuyến, còn em thì phải nghỉ học một thời gian.
Theo em nghĩ bạn nào cũng luôn muốn mình được quan tâm, vì vậy em mong rằng ông bà và đặc biệt là ba mẹ sẽ dành nhiều thời gian để lắng nghe chúng em, dành tình cảm qua những hành động thiết thực hơn hàng ngày ạ.
Em muốn các bạn ở lứa tuổi như em, dù ở vùng miền nào, cũng sẽ luôn được đối xử bình đẳng.
Về phần xã hội, em cảm thấy là cần có thêm sự hiểu biết về những vấn đề tâm lý của trẻ em cũng như của thiếu niên, và cần có các biện pháp để giúp đỡ họ và để giáo dục họ một cách hiệu quả.
What's on your mind? That is the name of this video clip that we just watched. And you can hear the responses from the children, but not all children have got the opportunities to say what's on their mind and to hear objective opinions as was advised for all of us. let's move on to a talk show with our experts and the children to hear what they truly think and their need to be heard. So Nhi, could you please help me with this session? Now I would like to invite to the stage Professor Trần Thành Nam, Tạ Việt Vượng, Nguyễn Việt Linh, Nguyễn Quang Minh, and Trần Quỳnh Giang, who's joining us online to join our talk show on mental health among children.
Good morning, Mr. Nam and friends. Could you please introduce a little bit about yourself? So, the one next to me, please tell us who you are. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vượng. I'm 12 years old. I live in Hanoi. This is the way hearing impaired children say hello to each other. Hello, I'm Linh. Hello, I'm Minh. I'm 16 years old. At the moment, I'm in the 11th grade and I live in Hanoi. Hi Nhi and everyone. Hi Vượng, Linh and Minh. I'm Trần Thành Nam, a lecturer from Vietnam National University, Hanoi. Mr. Nam, apart from the 3 children here, we also have a very special participant who attend this event virtually. Let's see who he is. Hello everyone, I'm from Da Nang. I'm very happy to attend this event to share my thinkings with you. Thank you all for your introduction. To start our discussion, we will ask our 3 friends here what they think about mental health and its impact on children, especially in the context of the pandemic. So Linh, could you please share your thinkings? Oh, I cannot hear anything. So could you please increase the volume? You know, during the pandemic, we have to stay at home and ensure social distancing. So I just stay in a very narrow space. So I feel uncomfortable and very stressful when I have to stay at home all the time. And I believe that all the other children also feel like me. When I see the information on mass media, I also realized that many children in Ho Chi Minh City or in provinces where the pandemic is serious have depression and have more fear than those who stay in the provinces where the pandemic is not very serious. And the children in such hot provinces are afraid that they will be positive to the virus. They are afraid that they will be isolated from their families for treatment. And they are also afraid that their parents may die due to the COVID-19, and that will be a very big mental shock to them. And during the pandemic, I also see that adults get affected many of the elders lose their jobs. They have difficult economic conditions. That's why they also have stress. They also have tension, and that may lead to arguments or violence in the family. Or they may have anger towards their children. I know that a lot of calls have been made to the hotline 111 during this pandemic, so the number of calls has increased, and I think it is maybe due to the things that I have just mentioned. Thank you, Linh, for your sharing. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown us a clearer risk relating to mental health among children. We know that children at all ages can have mental health problems. So I wonder if any of you can share with us how you are affected by the problems caused by COVID-19. I would like to share my personal experience. After all what I have experienced, I realized that mental health is equally important as physical health. I remembered one day when I was in class, I felt very stressful. I had to went to the restroom because I don't know why at that time suddenly my tears just went out, and that's why I have quit 3 periods on that day. And then the teacher asked me, why you are so irresponsible in your study, why you quit the periods. And I explained to her that I suddenly had some stress and I didn't want to study. However, the teacher thought that I told her a lie. She didn't believe me, and she told me that you must be honest. And you know, I want to cry when she said so. She didn't understand me. And after that, the teacher called my parents and complained about me. And my parents were very sad, but they didn't say anything because they understand me to some extent. However, from that event, I realized that I decided that from now on, I will not share my problems with anybody because adults don't understand me. Some years ago, I was diagnosed to have depression. And at that time, my parents were very shocked. And at that time, my parents don't understand what depression is. They don't know what the depression symptoms are. And they think that I am affected by a ghost or by like an artificial force. So, superior force. However, then they invite some traditional prayers to come over to sweep away my disease, which they believe is caused by the ghost. However, my situation isn't improved. And you know that we believe that many people believe that depression is not a disease. So if someone think that they have depression, they will have it. So it is just due to their weak. It is just due to they are not brave enough to deal with problems in their life. That's why they have depression. And you know, I also have to undergo a depression test. And when people the people who administer that test to me, they don't have belief in me as well. So they are like, instead of being a support to me, they are like investigators. So they are trying to see if I'm telling a lie in order to get some support from them. And it is not what I expect from them. I need to be heard by everyone. I need to be listened by everyone. Not that way. The second problem of myself is the financial resources, because the cost for clinical interventions is very expensive. That's why my family couldn't afford it. And then we go to another service provider where they prescribe some medications to me. However, when I take such medications, I sleep a lot, about 12 to 13 hours per day. And due to too much sleep, I couldn't concentrate on anything because I felt so tired after such long sleep. And I decided to let myself go. I don't want to make any efforts. However, after that, thanks to the encouragement of my family and my friends, I gradually overcome my problem slowly but steadily. And after that, I had a chance to have some contact and conversation with people who have problems like me. And I realized that the reasons why people don't understand me is because maybe they're overloaded with their daily work. It doesn't mean that they don't want to understand the others, but they don't have the necessary skills to understand the others. That's why they are not willing to share or to listen to children like me. I hope that the education system in Vietnam will equip the teachers with the skills to distinguish the mental health problems among children. For example, there should be some counseling experts at school, or they can have some counseling activities at school to prevent depression or anxiety among students. Being a person who underwent this, I really wish that none of my friends will undergo the same situation like me. And today, when I share my story with you, I also hope that my story will make everyone understand the importance of listening to others and of understanding each other. Thank you. Thank you, Giang, very much for sharing your personal story. And from your story, we see that a person cannot have good health without good mental health, right? In addition, we also see that there are a lot of myths about mental health. For example, teachers may believe that, well, students are telling them lie, they quit periods because they don't want to study. So they say that, oh, I have depression, but it is not the truth and it is dishonest. And in order to overcome mental health problems, we need the listening and the accompaniment of parents as well as of other people surrounding children. Over the last time, there are a lot of risks of mental health for children, as shared by Linh, by Giang, and for the other children who have more difficulties, for example, visually impaired children or hearing impaired children, their problems or their risks are even bigger. And now I'd like to ask Vượng to share your personal experience as well as your wish or your messages to your friends. I would like to share my story. During COVID-19, we don't go to school. We just stay at home and learn online. And other friends will listen to the teachers. However, I'm a hearing impaired child. I cannot learn online if I cannot see the gesture of my teachers well. However, sometimes internet connection is not good. That's why I cannot see the gesture of my teachers very well. A lot of my friends are staying in remote areas. They don't have computer, they don't have smartphones. That's why they cannot attend the online training teaching session and they cannot learn. Moreover, when our parents have to stay at home because they lose the jobs, they talk to me and we don't understand each other because we have more talks at home. However, when we talk, we don't understand each other. That's why my parents think that I don't listen to them, and they scold me. They say that I'm not a good child. So I'm very sad of that. So I hope to get back to school very soon, so that I can speak to my friends, I can speak to my teachers, because they are the one who understand me better than the parents at home. And I also hope that my parents can have better skills to understand me, so that I don't feel isolated in my home. Thank you for bringing your own perspective on behalf of many other hearing impaired children, so that we can understand the challenges that you are facing. So we can see that without understanding the hearing impaired children who have a lot of difficulties. And now I would like to ask Ming to share your thinking of the pressure you face when you have examinations at school.
Thank you very much for your question, Nhi. So you've asked about learning pressure, right? And I think learning pressure is something that everyone experiences even before, during COVID-19. During COVID-19, after COVID-19, the learning pressure is getting more and more serious among us all. And the reason why they are pressured, because online learning is not as effective as offline learning. I think that there are many reasons aside from that reason. For example, there is the lack of interactions between teachers and students. Teachers find it hard to check what the students are doing and whether the students are focusing on the classes. Students, including me, at the very first stage when we started, formalizing ourselves with online learning, found it really hard to focus on our classes because we are using iPads and laptops. We're distracted by social media, video games, and other entertainment, or like movies and YouTubes, that sometimes we prefer that to our classes. Aside from that, sitting at home and not going out and interacting with others will also affect the mentality of the children. They become less active, they become lazier. It is likely that they will no longer find any interest in learning and education. And it can be said that they also lose interest in interacting and communicating with others even. I myself have been through the same problems, especially at the very first stage of social distancing during school closure. And these problems, have pressured me even more, especially during the examination season, because I don't want to have bad scores that would disappoint my parents. And I know definitely that I will not have the same performance as I had when I was studying offline. In terms of learning online and why it is not as effective, it is that the daily routines of the students are disrupted for the worse. And that disruption has had an effect on their mental health, because learning online can lead to the fact that they're in bed all day. They don't eat their meals at the scheduled times anymore. They don't sleep, their sleep hygiene is affected. They don't have fixed schedules, release schedules, because sometimes they stay up late to play video games or watch a movie they like. They don't have the motivation of changing out of their pajamas into their school uniforms to get ready for school any longer, and that can create frustrations, and sometimes it just leads to the fact that they no longer have any interest in learning anymore because there are no sources of motivation. Things are just repeated day after day. Things are the same, and we just want to give up. I personally, have been through those imbalances in life. But after a long while, it's really fortunate for me that I've regained that balance that I had before the pandemic. Thank you very much, Ming. Could you please share with us what exactly you did to improve your mental health and regain that balance that you mentioned? I think that I have 3 pieces of advice for those who are experiencing the problems that I had. I think the first thing so let's talk about learning first. Let's get it out of the way first. So I think that during COVID-19, I'm sure all find it very difficult to learn. So I think that, what you can do is that you should improve your ability to self-study, because online classes are no longer as effective as offline learning. So self-study, inquiry-based learning by asking your friends and your teachers after school are very important. And personally, what I find really effective is talking to other students who share the same issues that I'm struggling with. I can talk to them, I can study in groups with them, and that really has helped me, interact with others and regain that balances due to the lack of interactions with others. Second, I would like to talk about your daily routines. Due to COVID-19, you cannot go outdoor and you're basically indoor all day, every day. And like I mentioned, you no longer can attend events. For example, before social distancing, my school used to have sports tournaments and then performance events. Now that I'm at home, I can't participate in those activities anymore. And I think that both physical and mental health are affected, because physical health can support mental health. So what I would say is that physical exercise is still very important even when you're indoor. Try having diversity in your life, in your daily routines, like dancing, singing at home, anything possible that would make you feel more active, less idle in your daily life, not in bed all day. And the last piece of advice I would like to give, and I think this is the most important piece of advice actually, and I think others have mentioned, that is, speaking your mind, sharing your mental health issues with family members and others. And your parents are the most important actors that you can confide in. Personally, if you just keep things to yourself, the longer you keep things to yourself, the more toxic your problems become, the bigger the problems will become. If you can alleviate your problems by talking to your parents, that can be a good way. And I think this is advice not only for me, the students, but also the advice for our parents. Why not speak your mind and take care of yourself as well as your children? Thank you. Thank you very much, Ming, for your pieces of advice. How about Ling and Zhang? Would you like to add anything to Ming's response? I agree with Ming. It's important to speak your mind, confined in your parents. Personally, in my case, I usually, talk to my parents what I've done during the day. And from that, we can understand each other better. I can give them advice and they can give me advice too. So through such conversations and encounters, I have become more confident and more assured in sharing my feelings with my parents. And my parents have become more attentive to my emotions and feelings, because now that I have shared with them even more. So it's a two-way interaction. That's what I'm trying to say. So I always hope that my parents would spend more time on me. I hope that they would understand others and I don't just need physical support or material support. We need spiritual and mental support. I'm in high school. I am experiencing the same level of expectations as others. I'm not a robot. I hope that my parents understand. I also love hugs and kisses and encouragements and praises from my parents. If parents are well guilt, and if they are attentive to their children's mental issues, they can become more supportive to their children. Thank you very much, our guest speakers, our 3 children, for your advice. Through their stories, I can definitely see that our children, teachers, parents, and community members are sometimes do not have the right mindset when it comes to mental health. Mr. Nam, could you please speak about this problem a little bit more? Thank you very much, Nhi. I'm very proud that today the children joining our talk show have spoken their minds, what they want to tell their parents and others and community members, the adults in the society. And we can all see that it's uncomfortable. Anxiety is, often considered an excuse. You're not lazy, and it's not that you're having an excuse, you're weak, you're not courageous enough, you're not strong-willed enough. It is normal. You have to overcome that mindset, even though others are still seeing mental health issues in an unfair light. So it's really difficult for the children to say, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. The children often say, oh, I cannot focus, I cannot learn, I cannot sleep, I have backache, I have headache. The physical symptoms that they're referring to are not actually what they're experiencing, and they actually spread more misconceptions and myths among our community members. What they're truly experiencing is actually mental health issues. So there are 2 stigmas against mental health issues. The first one is that it's wrong. There's something wrong about the children that they're having mental health issues, like a ghost is somehow taking over the child, for example, some spiritual, supernatural phenomenon. And that makes the children find it really difficult and uncomfortable to speak because they think, oh, I'm weak, I'm not as strong-willed as others, there's a defect in me, there's something wrong, just wrong about me. And I think people should understand that it is a misconception, definitely, because it's normal and it can definitely prevent the children from expressing themselves, from growing. Our negative emotions are considered by people from the Oriental culture as it is something that you should not bother others with. But actually together we can become stronger as a community by actually sharing and talking about it. You can talk in a way that will help the others understand you better. It's just like any physical injury or like a cut on your hand. There are 2 ways, right? You can bandage your wound and forget it. Just bandage and forget. But if you just bandage it and forget it, sometimes infections can happen underneath your bandage and your wound can even get worse in the future. But there is another way. Open that bandage, cleanse the wound. Sometimes it hurts. It hurts a little bit at the beginning. It looks scary at the beginning. But there are others around you who are tactful, who are nurses, right? They're professional who can unbandage the wound and cleanse in a way that, will not give you any harm. And then very quickly you'll recover. And through the stories that you shared, the fact that you're seeking professional support, the nurses, the doctors who help you unbandage, who help you cleanse your mental wound, that will help you grow and recover very quickly. So through the stories that you have shared, what I can say is that listen. Adults should listen. That is the key word. Just pause, take a break, just, get away from all the frustrations of your daily life. Just sit down, have some space, and tune into the emotions and the stories of the children to see what is actually behind their stories and sharings. And the stories that the children have shared today, have helped me understand the importance of being brave to speak your mind. And if you see your friends having any symptoms, any emotional wound, please find ways also to be their source of confidence. Maybe you can tell them, okay, I still don't know exactly what happened to you or what you're going through, but know that I'm here for you and I'm willing to listen to all of your concerns and emotions. Even when your friends have got really negative thoughts, as mentioned by Madame Ha in her speech, there are those who have suicidal thoughts or self-harm thoughts, and a lot of people are really scared and they immediately let's talk about other things. Let's not talk about suicidal. Let's not talk about, self-harm anymore. But that's not the right way. Take your time. Ask them, why? Why do you have such thoughts? And that, help them understand that there's someone out there who cares about them and what they're going through. And it's just like the flow of water. When you talk to your friends, trust me, the emotions that you're having right now will soon dissipate. And naturally, over time, things will get better. You will overcome this. Through this platform, hearing your responses, I feel really proud and I feel the need to spread this message to adults and parents that we should talk more about mental health issues with our community members. We need to have programs to raise awareness about mental health issues and make sure that mental health issues are mainstreamed into school curriculum to help parents and teachers know that they are the first touch points for their children. They are the first responders in mental health cases among children. During the pandemic, I know that there are increased risks out there. There are pressures out there. And the guest speakers, the children here have spoken about them. But I want to tell them the management of mental health is one of the most important skills of the 21st century. Making sure you are the number one, the strongest human being, not a secondary robot. What is special about us, what differentiates us from robots is our will, our mental health, our care. And I believe that every child should take care of your mental health so that you are well-rounded as a human being. Physical health, that's the first pillar, making sure that you're healthy. Sleep hygiene, very important, making sure that you sleep well, and that can support your mental health too. Number 2, emotions. Do things that make you feel that you can enjoy life. Spend time doing things that you love and enjoy. Maybe some relaxation techniques and exercise. Why not try them? The third pillar, social interactions. It's time you explore new relationships or reconnect with your old friends who are far away from us. And the last pillar, cognitive. Understand which anxiety can help you, which source of anxiety is useless, what source of information you should rely on so that you can navigate through the ocean of information news out there. Focus on things that matter in life. Be kind and contribute to society. And if you can, work on those 4 pillars, you'll grow stronger. So that's my tip for all of you that actually just summarize what all of the children who are joining our talk show today have addressed. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Professor Nam, for your advice and tips. Our psychologist for our children who are joining us today, as well as children across Vietnam. And thank you, our panelists, for joining our talk show. So a big hand for Mr. Nam and our beloved children. And now I would like to invite Madam Rana Flowers and Madam Nguyễn Thị Hà to the stage to take a photo with our guest speakers. May I also invite our KOLs and influencers to the stage so that we can take a family photo together to mark this occasion. So, writer Trang Ha and singer Duy Hoa and other esteemed guests, please proceed to the stage so that we can take a family photo together. Thank you. Please wave to the camera. Thank you very much, our esteemed guests, Mr. Nam and our children, for joining our talk show. You could go back to your seats so that we can resume our event.
Next, we'll watch a short video clip on the importance of mental health care for every family member. And dinner is a time when all family members can share your thinking as well as to care for the others in the family. So let's watch a video clip, namely a dinner at home. Hello everyone.
Cả nhà hôm nay thế nào?
Ổn ạ.
Tốt. Làm sao để nói ra sự thật đây, khi mà cuộc sống tôi không tròn đầy. 30 năm sự nghiệp chìm trong đầm lầy mà tôi luôn vẫy vùng trong hối tiếc. Suy nghĩ phải sống với lựa chọn này suốt kiếp, dưới tôi thức suốt đêm. Bị kìm kìm và không lối thoát, nhưng nói ra liệu có là độc ác và tổn thương với gia đình này, làm thất vọng tất cả mọi người. Làm sao có thể làm vậy? Tôi sẽ không để ý những này trốn chạy buột ra khỏi miệng tôi, vì chỉ nói để thử nói thế thôi, rằng mọi chuyện vẫn ổn và tôi đang làm tốt. Vì nếu tôi thú nhận không tốt, sẽ chỉ làm vợ tôi căng thẳng hơn. Hoài nghi lớn dần càng không chắc chắn, thêm nhiều lo lắng càng rắc rối hơn. Phải đó đã đang là điều tốt nhất rồi. Tiếp tục làm việc, tiếp tục chu cấp, mọi thứ vướng vấp rồi sẽ tuyệt vời thôi.
Bị căng thẳng và choáng ngợp lấn át, tôi đã luôn cố gắng bao quát quá nhiều cho gia đình, mà dường như giờ đây tôi chỉ có một mình.
Cần ai để có thể nói hết lòng mình, cần ai sưởi ấm con tim đêm lặng thinh, cần một vòng tay dang rộng bước đến bên tôi, nói cho tôi bao nhiêu buồn đau cũng qua rồi. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói ra hết lòng mình. Hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói ra hết lòng mình. Hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình.
Mà nỗ lực tan vào lặng thinh, không ai để tâm, không ai chú ý, không ai giúp dù chỉ là một tí, giữ mọi thứ vẹn nguyên hợp lý. Lúc nào cũng là tôi đã có mệt mỏi rồi, khi sự thật chính tôi đang vỡ nát. Một ngày nào tôi sẽ thoái thác, bỏ tất cả và đi, không có một trách nhiệm gì, bắt đầu lại với một tờ giấy trắng. Nhưng sâu lắng. Tôi tự mắng vì lối suy nghĩ này, giá mà có một nơi tôi có thể giải bày. Tôi thật sự không ổn, tôi đang vật vã lắm đây. Vẻ như không ai thật sự nói chuyện nữa. Tôi cố giữ gia đình này ấm lửa, nhưng dường như mọi người vẫn tuột khỏi tầm tay. Không gì tôi làm hay nói có thể đổi thay, chỉ là đoạn thoại cũ mẹ lần đi lặp lại. Lời vẫn vậy có ngày khác thôi.
Tôi muốn thành thật, nhưng có nghĩa gì đâu. Họ sẽ lại bảo con đang tìm trường hòa, kẻ chỉ cũ làm quá nên họ lờ tiện đi. Chỉ cho chân miền lỗi đâu, lỗi gì. Quy về ứng xử, trò chơi rồi thật xấu. Con có thể trải qua nhiều đến đâu, con chỉ là đứa nhóc thôi mà. Tôi có thể nghe ra trong đầu lời tôi, họ nào có chỉ hiểu thấu. Khi tôi nói con đang tranh đấu, tất cả đã quá qua lắm rồi. Họ sẽ lại đi so sánh cuộc đời, thời của họ mới thực sự ra lao. Nên cứ nói họ là con không sao, và giữ lại cho mình suy nghĩ. Vì ngay cả khi nói cũng là đâu nghe lý gì, cũng không phải là đỡ đi được. Cứ yên nhiều vào mỗi ngày lặng lẽ. Nhưng trời ơi, giá mà họ biết nhẽ nhiều thế nào những lời nói không ra.
Cần ai để có thể nói hết lòng mình, cần ai sưởi ấm con tim đêm lặng thinh, cần một vòng tay dang rộng bước đến bên tôi, nói cho tôi bao nhiêu buồn đau cũng qua rồi. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói, cả nhà hôm nay thế nào? Hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói ra hết lòng mình. Hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình này.
Hãy dũng cảm nói ra những vấn đề của bạn.
Hãy cùng xóa bỏ định kiến về sức khỏe tinh thần.
Tất cả bắt đầu từ một khoảnh khắc,
một cuộc trò chuyện,
một câu hỏi. Bạn đang có điều gì muốn nói?
Yes, Dinner at Home is the name of this video clip, and the clip has a very exciting rhythm, right? And it delivers a lot of thoughtful messages to all of us. So Nhi, at your home, does everyone talk to each other during dinner, and is it easy for you to share your thinkings with your parents? Well, at my home during dinner, everyone always gather to share their daily work and study the difficulties they have during the day and how they overcome them. And sometimes there are some things happening at my class, but I don't want to share with my parents because I'm afraid that they will be sad or angry when they heard that I did something wrong or something not good. So I wish that my parents to be more sympathetic to me, to understand me. Yes, I think that there are things that children want to share with the parents and also things the parents want to share with children. However, how to make sure that the two parties understand each other and encourage each other really matters. And now we will listen to the sharings by parents, artists who are very familiar to us. So in the society, they're artists at home, they're also parents, and they also share their thinkings from the perspective of parents. Thank you very much. And now we would like to invite to the stage actor, singer Duy Khoa, writer Trang Hạ, and MC Thảo Vân, who attend the event virtually. Now on the stage, we have singer-actor Duy Khoa, writer Trang Hạ, and MC Thảo Vân online. So they are the people who are quite well known to everyone, and we know that at home they are also parents. They also have worries, concern of their children. So first, could you please introduce a little bit about yourself, not as a KOL, but introduce how you connect with your children at home. Good morning, everyone. At the moment, I'm a father of 2 children. The bigger one is a girl, 7 years old, and the second one is the boy, 3 years old. And today I'm very happy that my daughter is here with me to attend this event. So please give a big applause to his little girl. Okay, so what about you, writer Chang Ha? Good morning, everyone. I'm a housewife with 3 children. I have 2 boys who are in secondary school, 6th grade and 8th grade, and I have a bigger girl. In 2020, I had a project to provide psychological support to mothers so that they can support the growth of their children. And that project has helped mothers deal with depression among their children. And I'm very happy to be here in this event. Okay, so today Chang Ha will have some sharings with us, not only from the perspective of a mother, but also as an expert who has been working with parents for quite a while during her project. And what about MC Thảo Vân? Could you please share with us a little bit about your family and your child? Good morning, everyone. Do you hear me clearly? Yes, we do. We see and hear you clearly. I'm very happy to have a chance to participate in this meaningful ceremony organized by UNICEF with a very important theme. And when I get the invitation from the organizers, I immediately say yes, because I'm a mother of a boy who just turns 17 years old with a lot of stories, a lot of issues, and to me, his issues are mine, and I want to accompany him. That's why I want to listen to him as well as listen to all of you, the parents and the children in this event, especially on this special topic of mental health. Thank you, Ms. Vân, and later on we will talk more about how you can connect to your son who just turned 17 years old, a very important milestone in everyone's life. So first I have a question for writer Chang Ha. Being a parent for a while, what do you think about the role of mental health care and psychological care for children? I think that parents are the pillar for the children to lean on. That's why over the last 20 years, there is no argument at all between my husband and myself. We always try to create a very happy environment in our family, because children will look at their parents like a mirror. So they are like an example for the children. Of course, children will not copy how their parents behave. However, they will learn from the sense of humor, or they will learn from the positive attitude of the parents. And we know that everyone, all children, will have faults in their life. They will fail in the exams. They will have some suspects, and they will have many negative things in their life. However, such things will become their experience. That won't become their negative things in their life. So where are the parents in their life? Parents will be the person who look at their problems together with them from a perspective of like adults, so we should use our sense of humor to help our children to overcome their difficulties. For example, if our child is afraid of cockroaches, we have to find ways to sweep away such a fear in a very humorous way. And if we can do it, we will provide our child with some kind of antibody so that they can fight against different categories of fear in their life. Yes, thank you. We all know that parents are always an important base for the children to lean on. And what do you think, Hua? You are a person who always appear in front of the public. So according to you, is it easy or difficult to accompany your children and provide support to their mental health? To be honest, I think it is not easy at all to be a father. Sometimes I doubt that whether I am a good parent or not. Not every parent is lucky to have good economic conditions like myself or Ms. Chang or Ms. Vân. However, in order to be a good parent, we need many things more, not only financial resources. So on television, you may see that, wow, I'm an actor who is always energetic. However, when I get back to my family, I am no longer energetic. I'm so tired after a long working day. So sometimes my children ask me, Father, could you please give us a smile? So I think my problem is also the one of many other ones. Many parents get home so tired, don't want to smile with their children, and do not give an energy to the children. So when my children told me, Father, could you please smile? I realized that I have spent too much time on the work in society, but not on my children or on my family. And my children are small. However, they also have very high needs and demands for mental care. So sometimes they also tell me, Father, please put down your telephone and play with us. And we all know that no parent is perfect. We are lucky to have good financial resources. Still, we are not perfect parents. We have to pay more attention to the psychological and mental health of children to bring them a better life. Yes, you're right. We should not always ask our children to be obedient, to be good, to be confident. They also have some demands towards us, and we have to meet such demands. And Ms. Thảo Vân, on social networks, I see a lot of posts from you. You share the stories how you play with your son, and you and your son are like two friends. And I know it is not easy to become friends of our children, right? Yes. So I have been with my son for 17 years old, and I saw for 17 years, and I must say that it is not easy for parents and children to become friends. We have listened to the sharing by children. We encourage children to speak out their concern, their worries. However, if we do not create a habit of sharing among the elders in families or between parents and children in families, one day our children may say, Father or Mother, I have this serious problem. So based on my personal experience, although we have very close relationship, between me and my son, many things happen to my son are known to me through a third person, not directly told by him. So it's not always the case that children shared their stories with their parents. Or like in my families, we are friends, but still he keeps some secret and have to get to know his problems through another person. So we must develop the relationship with our children, and we have to take it serious. for parents who are too busy and who do not have a habit of sharing in the family yet, start it right now, although it is late, but better late than never. So we should be more open to our children, more sharing to our children, and gradually the two parties will have trust in each other, and that will promote more conversation in family. And I think the dialogue between parents and children is very important, because through that we can help our children to overcome their problems. If our children don't speak out, we will never know, and they will have to struggle to overcome their problems. Of course, we are not experts, we are not psychologists to realize problems of our children whenever we look at their face or look at their actions. So the only way for us to know it is to talk with them every day or as much as possible. So that's what I do so far, and that's why my son accepts me as his friend, because we have a habit of sharing with each other. So again, for parents who do not have that habit, please start it right now. And we heard from the children, they say that they want to be understood, they want to be listened to. And you know, it's not them who have the needs to be listened to. We also have needs to be listened to, right? So as long as we have good relationship with our parents, we can share many things with them, and it will be very interesting. Thank you, Ms. Vân. So you emphasize the importance of a mutual conversation, right? And in such conversation, what are the symptoms that warn us that our child may have a problem? We have to pay more attention. And so how can we help our children to overcome problems when we talk to them? According to my experience, if we just wait for our children to speak out, it is difficult. So we must have very good questioning skills. We also need skills to observe, and we have to create a safety cycle in our family. For example, in my family, I have a cycle which involves the teachers and the best friends of my children. And also, we have a mentor. So depending on the development period of a child, normally they will have 1 or 2 mentors. Yeah. My oldest child is studying overseas, and his mentor was his teacher or his martial arts trainer, depending on his period of development. So the mentor is the one who I have frequent contact with, and I ask if my child has any stories. And sometimes my husband is also the mentor of my children. So you know that no parents are experts, right? We are not psychologists, we are not medical doctors, or we are not teachers, and we cannot be perfect parents. Therefore, the parents should seek support from experts or hotlines. For example, if we realize that our children are sad when they learn online, or if we know that they're bullied at school, we should seek help from experts and hotlines. Or there are a lot of free of charge services that we can contact, or we can contact the project implemented by UNICEF in collaboration with AND Media. I'm a parent who is using all such services, and I would like to encourage all the parents to share the problems of their children with the other ones to get support.
So, looking straight into the truth and reality that your children are suffering from mental health issues and you're having issues, sometimes you think, oh, what would others think, the neighbors, what the neighbors think, whether psychologists are trustworthy. Parents also have a lot of concerns. What do you think, Singer Zihua? I mean, theory and practice are really different. If you are too concerned about what others will think, I have a tip for you. The power of one. 1 minute to give your child a hug. 1 hour to put your phone down and spend 1 hour of quality time on your children, going out somewhere, talking to your child, anything. Because I believe that time is the most precious asset, but doesn't matter whether you're how wealthy or not, everyone just has 24 hours a day. And there will be a point of time that you need to spend 1 minute to hug your child and 1 hour to talk to your child. The power of one, the first thing you can do to change and transform your relationship with your child. How about Miss Thảo Vân? What's your experience? How you connect with your child? Do you have any tips, small tips that you have to communicate with your child better? Actually, I always consider my child a friend, a true friend, not just because I'm saying this for the sake of saying this. I'm saying this because I do think of my child as a young adult, not a child. Hi, this is Deep, my child. Say hi to everyone. Oh, hi, you're there with your mother? You can stay here with me, it's fine. Or he just said hi and he left. He's doing online learning, but he saw me here and then he became very interested. I talked to him yesterday about this actually, and he told me, wow, what a meaningful event, because there are times that he doesn't know what to do. He just turned 17, and then Miss Ha this morning said that like a child my age wanted to suicide, and it's really sad. But I never impose my power as a mother on my child unless it is absolutely necessary. Other than that, he's always my friend, and I always try to come to a solution with him that is a compromise between two parties. Of course, I had to take a step back and my child had to take a step back, but based on that relationship that we built, it's easy to reach a compromise where both of us can be happy at where we are. When I want to use my power as a mother to impose anything or to prevent my child from doing anything, I rarely use that power. What I do is that I always create a conducive environment for my child to speak his mind. Sometimes I argue with him, till 2 in the morning about something. Sometimes say I don't agree when my child talks to his friends. He uses foul languages, he curses, and then I argue to him, why do you do that? What's the point of using this language? Why? And then my child also told me, why are you concerned about this? Everyone does the same thing. And then I agree with Miss Chang Ha. It doesn't matter how close you are to your child. It doesn't matter how willing to learn. You're not an expert. And there are times that you need to seek professional support. Psychologists, like doctors and nurses. As a mom, you can confide in your psychologist. You can seek support and advice from this person. It doesn't have to be a person, actually. It can be any other source of support, because sometimes other parents ask me, okay, I have this problem. Where can I find support? And I think that, we are paying more attention to these sources of support, but I think we can do so much more to expand this network of resources, of experts who can provide support to our parents that now that they are navigating through the crisis between them and their children. I know at schools there are some school cycling offices, but I personally think they're not as effective as we expected. Maybe because the teachers there are not trained. Maybe they have too much on their plate, so they don't have time to work with their children. So I think that the event today is really meaningful, and I hope that we can spread this message to more people. When I talk to my friends about this program on mental health today, a lot of my friends are really surprised. Oh, that's a problem? Is something wrong with the mind or the brain of the child? So a lot of my friends are still not aware of the existence of these issues, or they don't have the right mindset regarding this issue. I do think we need to have a stronger workforce of experts, more resources that will help improve the understanding of mothers like me. Even though I have worked very closely with my child, but there are times in life that I struggle. There are times that I do wish that there's someone out there who knows better than me, who's trained to help me, and that's what I would like to say on this platform. Thank you very much, Miss Thảo Vân, for your sharing. And I think you are an expert yourself, and what you're doing is that you're becoming a resource person for those who love you, who trust you. You're, I believe, a great source of advice for the parents so that the children, their children, can grow comprehensively in a well-rounded manner. So to impart a message to all parents who are watching us today, what do you want to tell the parents so that they will spend more time, quality time on their children and making the children feeling loved and heard? Miss Chang Ha, first. There are two questions that I usually raise to the parents, and the parents can use on their children. It doesn't matter if they're on the way, on the way back from school, they look really beaten up, or when they don't want to go to school, or they become indifferent to what they used to love. The first question is, how do you feel, or how are you feeling? And the second question is, how can I help you? And you can apply these two questions to every scenario, when they're bullied, when they're happy, when they're sad. So, sometimes, even when they cannot manage their own schedule, for example, their routines are disrupted, ask them, how are you feeling and how I can help you? You only have 18 years being by your children's side until they reach majority. So take advantage of this opportunity to really spend time on your children. I mean, the first time that your child cries, the first time that your child is bullied, your time, the graduation ceremony of your child, they don't happen twice in life, And remember the two questions. Anytime, ask the two questions, and that is the start of so many more conversations in the future. Be the one to initiate that conversation first. Thank you very much for your two golden questions. How about Mr. Zihua? What do you want to impart upon the parents who are watching you today? What I believe is time lost cannot be regained, and you'll never go back to that moment when your child is 17 anymore. So what I want to tell the parents is the power of one. The first time you spend 1 minute to hug your child, the first time you spend 1 hour of quality time hanging out with your children, the first time that you ask the two questions or say to your child, I love you, I care about you. Is there anything interesting today? Do you want to tell me anything today? I believe that those are very simple strategies that you can build your connections with your child using those strategies. How about Miss Thảo Vân? Do you have any tips that you would like to impart upon the parents who are watching you today and us? So to parents, speaking from my experience as a mother, my mindset is that everything happens for a reason. So when your child does, has any wrongdoings, for example, something bad, control your emotions. Find out why, because everything happened for a reason. And work with your child to come to a solution, even if it is the worst case scenario that you've ever experienced. But think, everything happened for a reason and dig deeper to find the root cause of that worst case scenario. I believe both of you are strong enough to find solutions. That's how you can become a companion to your child. A hug, a kiss, great. But think, your child needs your hug. You need your child's hugs. Those are moments that are so precious when affection and love are exchanged through these hugs and kisses. And through these hugs and kisses, you can develop your relationships even more. But when you invest your efforts, you put your best effort forward from the bottom of your heart, I believe there are always ways for you to demonstrate your affection and your love. And that's when you're rewarded with the affection and love from your child too. So everything happened for a reason. Thank you very much, Miss Thảo Vân, for your sharing. And when we started our event today, one parent told us that sometimes the child complains, "Oh, I'm very hungry. I want to play with this. I want to play with that." It is not as scary as when your child tells you, "I'm sad, I'm depressed." Because that's when you know you need to spend time finding out what is happening. It cannot happen overnight. Not in 1 hour, 2 hours. It's a long journey that you have to explore. But at the end of that journey, there are sweet fruits, the love, the affection that we will be rewarded with from your child. And remember, National Helpline, the resources are out there who are willing to extend their helping hand to us when you are navigating through that journey of parenting. Thank you very much, our guest speakers, for being here with us, sharing with us your real life stories on your journey as a parent. I wish all of you, your children, and your family stronger and stronger connection so that you always feel loved, feel the affection, where you can have a family where you can return to after a long day at work. Thank you, Madam Trang Ha, Duy Khoa, and MC Thảo Vân. So big hand for our panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, UNICEF and us have initiated a challenge on TikTok Vietnam video clips on the topic of mental health. Right now, let's have a look at the screen to see what the challenge is.
Đi cô không? Bạn ơi, đi chơi xếp hình không? Bóng đá hay cá ngựa nào? Cái gì? Thấy cô đó? Xếp hình á? Bóng đá, cá ngựa? Đi thôi!
Thôi mà, mệt rồi, bỏ điện thoại xuống đi. Chơi làm gì nữa?
So starting from the idea of how to disconnect to connect, the video clip has introduced to us a campaign that encourages children, adolescents, and all of us to say goodbye temporarily to our digital devices, to connect with others, spend more time in the offline world. So now I would like to introduce Mr. Nguyễn Lâm Thanh, CEO of TikTok Vietnam, to the stage to share with a few words about this campaign. Vice Minister Nguyễn Thị Hà, Madam Rana Flowers, Chief Representative of UNICEF Vietnam. Today, I am very honored to join our celebration ceremony of the World Children's Day 2021 to share with you the future partnerships between TikTok Vietnam, UNICEF, and others who are interested in the material as well as the mental need of our children. As a platform with a huge number of following of users, particularly young people in Vietnam, TikTok Vietnam considers it our priority to strike a balance between recreational need, learning need, information need, and a safe cyberspace for children and adolescents in Vietnam. In the early days of 2019, when we entered Vietnam, the first thing we did was that we worked with the Child Affairs Department to organize a workshop on how we can develop a set of protocols on how children can join the online platform. Afterwards, we worked with the ministry to launch a campaign on manners first. So top-down approach will not work on our children. If we can create challenges that become trendy, they would like to participate in those. So in 2019, we launched a challenge called Manners First or Morals First, where we encouraged our children to demonstrate the traditional values of Vietnamese culture, including respecting the elderly, respecting their parents, for example. As mentioned by Madam Rana Flowers in her speech, COVID-19 affects the mental status of the children as they become isolated and depressed. And Madam Rana Flowers herself has filmed some video clips on her cooking at home in her own kitchen, and this trend has received a lot of support from not only the young people but also the adults. Over 40 billion views and 2 million TikTokers filming themselves what they're doing at home to show their optimism and their positivity. And you know that a smile is even more effective than any panacea. So among children and adolescents under the impact of COVID-19, it is very important to have a safe cyberspace, an organized cyberspace full of positivity and less negativity. As you have watched a lot of video clips and the discussions, TikTok is happy to work as an active member of the network of child protection in Vietnam. We have launched a program called Digital Vaccine, where we want to create a set of skills for parents, for young people in Vietnam, and for teachers, so that together we can develop an environment that is truly healthy for the physical and mental health of the children. Quite recently, we have had 2 live streams and developed 3 handbooks on how children can interact with the online platforms in the right way. So we have these handbooks available for the children, we have the handbook available for the parents, and we have a handbook for the teachers. So quite recently we have organized 2 live streamed workshops last Sunday, and we have another ones coming in the future. in 2021, 2022, starting today, TikTok Vietnam would love to work with UNICEF Vietnam to roll out a number of efforts focusing on mental health and psychological status of children. What is interesting about TikTok Vietnam is that we create stories, we create challenges where young people can participate instead of a top-down approach and instructions from adults. For young people, joining a trend is more effective than any pedagogical instructions from teachers or any top-down advice from their parents. I would like to extend my gratitude to Melissa and UNICEF for working with TikTok Vietnam to conduct a number of programs in support of children and adolescents in Vietnam. Thank you. Thank you very much, CEO Nguyễn Lâm Thanh of TikTok Vietnam. You know that TikTok has a huge following, I think the biggest following in Vietnam, and I believe that with this challenge, more and more people will enjoy our message in the most comfortable way. Instead of thinking of these as just theories or top-down instructions or advice, I hope that the young people will enjoy this challenge. Now I would like to declare the launch of our challenge, Disconnect to Connect. We are looking forward to receiving leaders on TikTok from the children as well as the parents. Now I would like to hand the mic back to Nhi.
Today we have listened to the sharings by parents, by children, and to also listen to the remarks by the Minister of Labor. And now we'd like you to make some final words. Madam Leslie Miller, Deputy Representative of UNICEF in Vietnam, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very moved and thankful for the children, the parents, the experts, colleagues, KOLs for your participation in this event. It is like a training course to me. The children have shared their thinkings and the experts also shared their experience, which I myself like. That's why I feel that this event is very interesting. So I planned to leave this event at 9:45 because I have another commitment. However, the contents shared in this event are too interesting. That's why I decided to stay here until the last minute of the event. When I listened to the stories by Linh, Minh, Vượng, or Giang, the children from lower secondary school to upper secondary school level, and they have sent important messages to us. Giang from Da Nang told us that both his parents and teachers don't understand him. They do not recognize his problems and they have no solutions to help him overcome his problem. His parents even think that his problem is caused by ghosts, and invite traditional prayers to come over to cure his disease. So I think if my child had that kind of problem, maybe I would behave like his parents. I cannot have a good solution for my child. Or some other or another child, a hearing impaired child said that he is sad because at home when his parents and him talk, they don't understand each other. That's why he wishes to get back to school so that he can talk with with teachers and friends who understand him better. And Ming and Ling also have some recommendations. so that adults can help them overcome their challenges or difficulties. So it is clearly that mental health is very important, as emphasized by all participants in this event. And as our little Giang said, that in Vietnam, it seems that parents and teachers don't pay enough attention to mental health. That's why they do not have any solutions to help children overcome their mental health problems, which can be addressed within a short time if the right measures are taken. So to me, I'm very grateful. And as I said, it is like a training course to me. I have 2 children. The second one is just 10 years old. The first one, 27 years old. And being a mother, I like Chang Ha saying very much. That is, we have to help our children to overcome every problem in their life, even if our children are afraid of cockroaches. We have to find ways to help them overcome that. You know, at home, my children prefer to share their stories with my husband than with me, because you know sometimes I have like sentences like, if my son say, "Oh, today I get 6th grade at school," I say, "Why only 6? Why not 10? Yeah, only 6." So they don't want to share with me the next time. Yeah, next time they go share with my husband. And when I hear the experience from singer Hoa, I also feel that I lack such things. I don't smile with my children frequently at home. I don't hug my children at all at home. Sometimes I want to hug my children, but when they are studying, suddenly I hug them and they feel annoyed and they try to avoid it. So I think that I have to improve my skills to choose appropriate time or the appropriate way to hug my children. And I also have to limit my scolding towards my children, because sometimes I scold them for very small things. So we all say that better late than never. So whenever we share with our children, it will increase the good relationship in the family, and we will become friends of our children. And it is not us who help them, but they also help us a lot. And I totally agree with that statement. I will have to become a friend to my son who is 10 years old. And I hope that I can accompany him from now until he is 30 years old, when he is really grown up. And throughout the event, we have learned a lot, and I would like to ask all the journalists here, as well as the one attending this event virtually, to spread the messages and the positive energy from this event in your writings. So we should spread the positive messages to children and adolescents. So finally, again, I would like to thank you all. You have given me a lot of important messages to me today, and we see the important role of families and parents in ensuring the mental health care for children. From Molisa, we commit to collaborating with central ministries, socio-political organizations, mass organizations, parents, communities, through our child protection network at grassroots level, as well as with UNICEF and other international organizations, to promote mental health of children in the coming time. I wish you all good health and always have love and good relationship with your children. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Ha, for your final remarks, which are very sincere. She is also a mother, and she said she learned a lot in the event today. And We look forward to the Moliza activities in the coming time in relation to mental health care for children. Once again, thank you, and now I'd like to invite a representative from UNICEF, Madam Leslie Miller, Deputy Representative of UNICEF, to have some words.
Minister Ha, and to all the friends, young people and adults, parents who have shared with us today. I think one important takeaway from today is really that message, how powerful it is to share your truth, to share your feelings, to tell your stories. And I think throughout today we heard stories of young people, of children, stories of parents who really opened up and shared with us their very touching and very personal stories of what they've experienced during COVID and after COVID, and how they've been challenged to really open up and share their truth. So I think I would see a few takeaways from our session today, a few things that really guide us as we go forward. And the first is definitely the importance of parents needing to listen to their children. I think we all heard that loud and clear. Parents, please talk to your children, listen to your children, really hear what they have to say and support them. I liked very much the suggestion to ask them, how are they feeling and what can I do to help? So parents, please listen to your children. Second, I think we recognize that parents also need some skills. We as parents are not 100% equipped to deal with all of these issues on our own. We need skills to recognize when our children are having problems, even if they can't always talk to us. We need skills to know what services are available and where we can refer our children to get the help we need. And we may even need skills in how best to talk to our children without getting angry or frustrated or scolding them too much. So I think building the skills of parents, recognizing that we're not perfect and we need to improve as parents, is a second important area. Then, when it comes to children and young people, we heard a lot of great suggestions. We heard a lot of really honest feedback of especially how the past 2 years of COVID have been for children and young people, what it's meant to be in distance learning. I also have 2 teenagers that have gone through the same thing as all of you, so I understand how difficult it's been. And I think it's a little bit the same as with parents. You also need skills, and I think Min mentioned that, skills to be able to manage your own learning, skills to be able to manage when you have some issues that are bothering you, how do you cope with them? Skills to maintain your friendships, even in distance learning. So again, the skills are very important. But at the same time, it's the same story of listening, of sharing, of feeling brave enough to tell your story to your parents, even if you're not sure how they're going to react, or sharing your stories with your friends, even if you're not sure how they're going to react. But it's really about speaking up, of sharing what's happening inside, because if you don't share, nobody knows what's happening inside and nobody can help you. So I think that's the second really important message of today when it comes to children is we can help you build your skills, but you also need to share with us adults what's happening in your lives. And I think, I can't remember who said it, but someone said that parents and teachers are really the first responders or the first touch points. And I think that's absolutely true. So in addition to supporting parents and building skills of parents, we need to work through the education system and build the skills of teachers to really be there for their students, to establish counselors in schools who can recognize when children are struggling and need support, and to build that system approach that Vice Minister Ha was talking about across the social welfare, the education, and the health systems, so that children and parents get all the support and services they need. So I think this morning was a really great event. I'm also very inspired, and I learned a lot myself. And we really look forward to continuing this conversation, because I think what we also learned is that not everyone knows enough about mental health. And there's still a lot of stigma, a lot of beliefs that are maybe not helping neither parents nor children in coping with these challenges. So we really need to raise awareness of everybody that mental health is that continuum, and that positive mental health, we all have it, and we all have moments when we struggle, and we all need to support each other and speak up when we're struggling. So thank you to all the young people, to all the parents, and to Vice Minister Ha and the colleagues from the Ministry of Education for being here. I'd like to thank my team, who really went above and beyond to pull this event together. So thank you, UNICEF colleagues. And thank you to all the translators and technicians for making this day so successful. Wishing everyone a fabulous World Children's Day 2021. Use it to spend time with your children. It's actually on November 20th, so you still have time. You haven't missed it. So use that day to kickstart a new approach to spending more time with your children. 1 minute, 1 hour of talking to your children. Thank you very much. Xin cảm ơn.
Xin cảm ơn những chia sẻ rất là tâm huyết đến từ những người đại diện cho xã hội, từ các bậc cha mẹ phụ huynh và từ các em nhỏ tại buổi lễ ngày hôm nay. Chúng ta hãy cùng nhau xây dựng tương lai hạnh phúc.
Và kính thưa quý vị, và đúng
a good future for our children. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 20th of November 2021, we will have a special event, namely Lighting Up Blue for Children, and on that date, the landmark building in Ho Chi Minh City, the Dragon Bridge in Da Nang, TRN and VP Bank buildings in Hanoi will turn on big blue light to send a message. Let's protect the children, the future of our world. How do dinner at your home happen? Sometimes you are busy. We know that it is a time for every family member to sit together to share how their day is, right? Now I would like to invite you all to enjoy a musical performance as the closure of this event. This performance shows us the desire of children to have a chance to have sharings with the family members.
Kính chào quý vị và các bạn. Thời tiết Hà Nội hôm nay vô cùng tuyệt vời.
Cả nhà hôm nay thế nào?
Ổn ạ.
Tốt. Làm sao để nói ra sự thật đây, khi mà cuộc sống tôi không tròn đầy. 30 năm sự nghiệp chìm trong đầm lầy, mà tôi luôn vẫy vùng trong hối tiếc. Suy nghĩ phải sống với lựa chọn này suốt kiếp, giữ tôi thức suốt đêm đêm. Bị kìm kìm và không lối thoát, nhưng nói ra liệu có là độc ác và tổn thương với gia đình này, là thất vọng tất cả mọi người. Làm sao có thể làm vậy? Tôi sẽ không để ý nghĩ này trốn chạy, buông ra khỏi miệng tôi để chỉ nói điều thì nói thế thôi. Rằng mọi chuyện vẫn ổn và tôi đang làm tốt. Vì nếu tôi thú nhận không tốt sẽ chỉ làm vợ tôi căng thẳng hơn. Hoài nghi lớn dần càng không chắc chắn, thêm nhiều lo lắng càng rắc rối hơn. Phải đó đã đang là điều tốt nhất rồi. Tiếp tục làm việc, tiếp tục chu cấp mọi thứ vướng vấp rồi sẽ tự quay thôi.
Bị căng thẳng và choáng ngợp lấn át, tôi đã luôn cố gắng bao quát quá nhiều cho gia đình, mà dường như giờ đây tôi chỉ có một mình. Yeah. Cần ai để có thể nói hết lòng mình, cần ai sưởi ấm con tim đêm lặng thinh, cần một vòng tay dang rộng bước đến bên tôi, nói cho tôi bao nhiêu buồn đau cũng qua rồi. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói ra hết lòng mình. Hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình. ai để tâm, không ai chú ý, không ai giúp dù chỉ là một tí, giữ mọi thứ vẹn nguyên hợp lý. Lúc nào cũng là tôi đã quá mệt mỏi rồi, khi sự thật chính tôi đang vỡ nát. Một ngày nào tôi sẽ thoái thác, bỏ tất cả và đi, không còn một trách nhiệm gì, bắt đầu lại với một tờ giấy trắng. Nhưng sâu lắng tôi tự mắng vì lối suy nghĩ này, giá mà có một nơi tôi có thể giải bày. Tôi thật sự không ổn, tôi đang vật vã lắm đây. Vẻ như không ai thật sự nói chuyện nữa. Tôi cố giữ gia đình này ấm lửa, nhưng dường như mọi người vẫn tuột khỏi tầm tay. Không gì tôi làm hay nói có thể đổi thay, chỉ là đoạn thoại cũ mệt lặp đi lặp lại. Lời vẫn vậy có ngày khác thôi.
Tôi muốn thành thật, nhưng có nghĩa gì đâu. Họ sẽ lại bảo con đang kịp trừng hóa cái gì cũng làm quá nên họ lờ tịnh đi, chỉ chất chân miền lỗi đâu lỗi gì. Quy về ứng xử trò chơi rồi thật xấu, con có thể trải qua nhiều đến đâu, con chỉ là đứa nhóc thôi mà. Tôi có thể nghe ra trong đầu lời tôi họ nào có chỉ hiểu thấu. Khi tôi nói con đang tranh đấu, tất cả đã quá quen lắm rồi, họ sẽ lại đi so sánh cuộc đời. Đời của họ mới thực sự ra lao, nên cứ nói họ là con không sao, và giữ lại cho mình suy nghĩ. Vì ngay cả khi nói cũng là đâu nghĩa lý gì, cũng không phải là đỡ đi được. Cứ yên nhiều vào mỗi ngày lặng lẽ, nhưng trời ơi giá mà họ biết nhẹ nhiều thế nào những lời nói không ra ha.
Cần ai để có thể nói hết lòng mình, cần ai sưởi ấm con tim đêm lặng thinh, cần một vòng tay dang rộng bước đến bên tôi, nói cho tôi bao nhiêu buồn đau cũng qua rồi. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói ra hết lòng mình, hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình. Hãy lắng nghe tôi nói ra hết lòng mình, hãy cho tôi được nói ra hết đi những tâm tình này.
Hãy dũng cảm nói ra những vấn đề của bạn.
Hãy cùng xóa bỏ định kiến về sức khỏe tinh thần.
Tất cả bắt đầu từ một khoảnh khắc,
một cuộc trò chuyện,
một câu hỏi, bạn đang có điều gì muốn nói.
Hãy dũng cảm nói ra những suy nghĩ của bạn.
Thank you, children, for delivering the message to us. So I'm sure that all family members want to share their thinkings to be understood. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizers, I would like to thank all the participants to this event. On the theme Mental Health Care and Protection for Children, I hope that the celebration has sent important messages to you and now understand the importance of mental health for children and adolescents, the future generations of the country. We hope that from today it will start to change your behaviors. 1 minute, 1 hour for your child is very important, and do it from your heart. As long as you have love and care for your children, together you can overcome all the problems in life. Let's believe that mental health care is the protection of our country's future generations. Once again, I would like to thank all the participants, parents, children, KOLs for your participation in this event. I wish you and your family good health and peace. Thank you. Now we'd like to invite everyone to proceed to the stage for a group photo.